That's all I got with the messages. Now let me get to the calls because a few of y'all want to call and want to chime in at your boy. So let's go. I'm here for it. Let's go.
Stephen A., it's Noah from Milford, Connecticut here, and I got a question. So there's this girl I'm seeing. Everything's good about her, except one thing. She thinks Jordan is the GOAT. I might just, have to break it off with her, Stephen A. I don't know. It's really questioning my morals here. I need a response. Thanks.
So Noah calls, and he's got a problem because he thinks his woman believes, his woman he's feeling, woman he got love for, woman he want to be with. His problem with her is that Michael Jordan the GOAT. Well, first of all, he is the GOAT. And when it comes to GOATs, there is only one excuse. A woman in your life that you've loved, that you've invested in, that you've given yourself to, should have as an excuse for labeling somebody other than Michael Jordan the GOAT. And that's if she looks at you and she says, baby, you're the GOAT. Now, if she does that, all is forgiven. If she doesn't, well, you might have to re-examine that relationship. Now, I wouldn't go too far because Jordan don't give a damn about you. He gonna sleep well at night. He ain't gonna advise you to get rid of what's keeping you warm. Don't be stupid now. You understand? Don't be stupid now. Ain't nobody gonna rush to keep you warm now. She there. And if you got love for her and you was feeling her, she was doing something right. So if she's doing something right, let her keep doing that. And just incrementally, sporadically, implement words of counsel as to who the GOAT should be. Then again, let me say this because it's very, very important. If you got to tell your woman you're the GOAT, instead of her telling you that, then you ain't the GOAT. Because when you are the GOAT, you don't have to wonder. She automatically lets you know. Next up, who's there?
What's up, Stephen A? This is Joe from outside of Philadelphia. What I want to know is if the reports are true that Damian Lillard would be a Sixer right now if they would include Tyrese Maxey, then what the hell is Daryl Morey doing? Let me know.
Steven, he's smart. He's being smart. I love Damian Lillard. Love him to death. 32 years of age, turning 33 to July 15th. Absolute stud, long-range sniper. I think when you think about him outside of Steph Curry, what point guard would you rather have with that long-range sniper ability that's better than Damian Lillard? I'm sorry. I love him. But you see Tyrese Maxey? Have you seen this brother? Who, by the way, is about 9 to 10 years younger. I'm not letting go of Tyrese Maxey. I'm not doing it. No. I believe Tyrese Maxey has the potential to be a bona fide star in the NBA. And if that brother finds himself in a position where he can sit up there and get himself to be the second preeminent face of the Philadelphia 76ers, okay? I say you do it. I don't blame Daryl Morey for this at all. I'm just Googling. Tyrese is 22. He's 22. He turns 23 November. He's 10 and a half years younger than Damian Lillard. I'm not giving up Tyrese Maxey. I'm not giving up Tyrese Maxey. Hell no. Not even for Damian Lillard. And I love Damian Lillard. Next up, who you got?
Hey, Stephen A. This is Jonathan Pike out of Chicago, Illinois. My question to you is, who is your top 5 black quarterbacks of all time in the NFL?
Ooh. My top 5 black quarterbacks of all time. Well, first of all, it's easy. First of all, it's Patrick Mahomes. That's number 1. That's an easy one to pick right there. It's Patrick Mahomes. Man, I don't want to forget anybody. We got Steve McNair. We got Donovan McNabb. We got Randall Cunningham. Oh, my God. Who am I missing? Michael Vick. I wouldn't put him in the top 5, though. Deshaun Watson, Jalen Hurts, and what he's doing. Oh, man. Doug Williams, no, he's not in there, even though first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl title. Yeah. I'm going to put Donovan McNabb as the top 5. I'm going to put Warren Moon as the top 5. Help me, Gaff. Am I missing anybody?
Dante Culpepper?
He got to be considered. Dante Culpepper got to be considered. Steve McNair got to be considered. Oh. So I said Patrick Mahomes. I said Donovan McNabb. I said, who was the third one I said? Warren Moon. Okay. Ooh. Damn, this is tough. I know I'm going to forget somebody. I know I'm going to forget somebody. My assistant Sumatra just handed me the list. See, that's why she's an assistant extraordinaire. That's what she does. Give her brother an assist. I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. I'm looking at some names here throughout history. Warren Moon, Steve McNair, James Shaq Harris. I remember him. Dante Culpepper. You mentioned him, Gaff. Cordell Stewart. You can't forget him. Oh. I'm going to have to go with, just based on talent, y'all. I'm going to have to go with Patrick Mahomes. No particular order, but he's definitely number 1. Patrick Mahomes, Donovan McNabb, Warren Moon, Dante Culpepper, and Steve McNair couldn't run like Randall Cunningham. Michael Vick, nobody could run like him. I said, oh, hell, you know. I got to put Lamar Jackson up in there. I got to do that. All right, so that's 4. Man. One could argue that Deshaun Watson got to do a little bit more. He's probably better, but do you give him the nod over Dante Culpepper, who used to throw the ball, of Randy Moss or Steve McNair? I don't know if you give him the edge over that, so it's got to be one of those 2. I got to think about that. All right. A couple more calls left. Go ahead.
What's going on, Stephen A?
Yo.
It's Terrence Foster from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
All right, Barry White.
And I have a question about your career field. So the game of sports journalism and media has changed so much in the past few decades. What would you recommend for someone trying to get started in building that resume?
Good question, Terrence. A little bit too long. Barry White voice and all that stuff is cool, but damn, you know what I'm saying? I want to listen to some love jams. Just get to your points quicker next time, and speak without that bass in your voice. Having said all of that, let me say this: you want to get in this business. People can talk. People don't get nervous in front of the camera. People know how to articulate their thoughts thoroughly, and all of those things are true. But it means nothing if you have nothing to say. And so you got to really do your research. You got to really know what you're talking about. You got to really know people in the business. Even when my information at times is something you would consider suspect, it's because I'm coupling the intel that I received combined with the sources I've cultivated and the intel that I'm being provided to by people in the know. And so because of that, I've established myself as being connected to the fabric of industries that I cover. And that goes a long way, where even if you want to feel the need to correct me based on a nugget of facts here or there, you can't deny the fact that there is substance to the things that I say, because you know I'm getting it from somewhere. Perfect example is when I just finished talking. I was talking just the other day to a couple of politicians. Some of them will be on the show, including Governor Chris Christie. Sometime next week, he'll be on the show. Former governor of New Jersey, 2-term governor of New Jersey. So when you listen to him and you listen to Maxine Waters and you listening to other folks that are on Capitol Hill and stuff like that, what happens is when you start talking about those things, people have a reference point, not just reference material. And as a result, it elevates credibility. Thinking that you could just read, don't report, don't cultivate resources and context, you could just read like everybody else and get in front of the microphone and the camera and talk your shit. That don't work. That don't work because you haven't given an audience a reason to gravitate to you, because you haven't given them an indication that you've put in the work. that warrants their time to listen to what you want to disseminate and express. You got to think about it along those lines. Knowing how to write is important. Knowing how to research is important. Having a personality so your presentation is on point. All of those things are important. But nothing beats substance. And nothing of substance comes from something that's not attached with information. You got to research, you got to get information, and you got to cultivate context and resources so they're feeding you information. That's how you do it. Let's get to a few more calls. You know what? I got a couple of minutes. I'm going to take about 3 more calls, and then I'm going to finish the week up. Let's go to these 3 calls since I'm going to be out here for the weekend. What's up, man?
Hi, Stephen A. This is Robert Preston in Jacksonville, Florida, Duval County. My question is concerning Charles Barkley's decision to leave $5 million to the University of Auburn after he became upset concerning the affirmative action rule. My question is, why would we want to leave $5 million to the same school that is perpetuating not allowing black students into the school?
Well, first of all,
wouldn't it be better for that $5 million to be left to a historically black college?
Not necessarily, because he's from Alabama. Auburn's in Alabama. That's his home. And what he wants to do is make sure that he facilitates diversity being an inclusionary component into that university if they're not going to do it on their own. He wants to force feed that agenda. And I can't knock him for that. Of course, I'm an HBCU grad. I give to my HBCU, Winston-Salem State. I'm the ambassador for HBCU Week. I've helped generate an excess of over $12 million, over $28 million in scholarships for over 12,000 students. Of course, HBCUs are incredibly important to me. And Ashley Cooper has led the way in that efforts with HBCU Week, doing a phenomenal job all of these years, no question. But understand, everybody doesn't come from an HBCU, and sometimes it's more important to you to touch on who you identify with and where your background is from. If I'm a native of Hollis, Queens, New York, okay, and I may not have, if my high school, for example, wasn't integrated and I wanted to do something to ensure that it was integrated, somebody would say, why not just pour money into a school that's already integrated? Because I want the school that I went to be integrated. It's my money. And I make contributions all the time, but I wanted to make that contribution. That's what Charles Barkley did. There's absolutely, positively nothing wrong with that. And be happy that he gave money that was designated for black students. That ain't good enough. You got to tell him, why not give it to an HBCU? Why don't you go give it to an HBCU? Next caller.
Hey, Stephen A. My name is Luke from Chicago.
Yep.
My mom is a huge Knicks fan, and
yeah.
I'm a big Bulls fan. She was 13 the last time the Knicks won a championship in 1973.
All right.
My question for you is this: we've had this debate for a long time. Who's the better player, Clyde Frazier or Scottie Pippen? I think it's Pippen easily, but I want to hear what you have to think.
Okay.
I love your show. I love First Take.
All right.
Love,
I appreciate the pleasantries, my brother. Thank you so much. I don't need to be fawned over, though. But thank you. Here's the deal. 2 completely different times. If you look at Scottie Pippen, 6'9", all-world defensive player, 6-time champion, future Hall of Famer. I'm sorry, not future, but present Hall of Famer. Of course, Scottie Pippen is the name that should come to your mind. I will remind you, however, that the last time the Knicks won a championship, Walt Clyde Frazier delivered the goods. And that was a brother that scored 37 and with 19 assists in a Game 7. That Walt Clyde Frazier. Last time the New York Knicks knew anything about a championship was when Walt Clyde Frazier delivered it. So I'm not about to throw any shade on him nor his greatness. All I would say to you, really, 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 is that Scottie Pippen, the modern day era, the way the game has evolved, you have to give it to him. But he was never the point guard that Walt Clyde Frazier was, never the scorer that Walt Clyde Frazier was or could be. But in the end, modern times, the way the game evolved, and the fact that Scottie Pippen was 6'9", of course you go with him. Okay? But I'm always going to have love for Walt Clyde Frazier. And your mama is right to do so. Respect your mama, boy. Respect your mama. Last caller for the weekend. What's up?
Hey, Stephen A. My name is Grady. I'm from Houston, Texas. I was calling about your podcast I love listening to you. I don't agree with a lot you say, but that's fine. I'm an American, and I believe we can have differences, still hear each other's side. The reason I'm calling today is I hear you talking about gun violence, the mass shooting. Totally agree with you, all right? But the thing is, you're preaching to the choir. All we're doing is complaining, and then pointing our fingers at other people. The thing is, what we need to do is come up with solutions. We need to understand the facts, come up with solutions. You know, you're not going to get rid of all the guns, no matter what. I mean, they're there. You know, you can get rid of the AR-15s, you can stop some of them, but they're still there. You know what I mean? And people are still going to be shooting. What we need to do as a society is come up with ways to prevent it. We need answers, not sitting there talking, because that's not getting us nowhere.
That's enough.
You know, we need to come up with...
It's enough. First of all, Grady, I appreciate the call. Don't ever call this show again and leave that long-ass message. Okay? Matter of fact, that goes for all of y'all. 30-second limit. I mean, Jesus. You want your own show? Go get one. Don't call and use the phone line and try to act like you're just leaving a message when you're trying to give a soliloquy, a damn dissertation. That's number one. Number two, Grady, if you listen to my comments about the shootings in Baltimore, I said that black folks are killing one another, and I meant it. And I also said, how are we going to complain when white folks are killing us, kills one of us, or someone in a blue uniform, meaning law enforcement officials, kills one of us, and we ready to have riots in the streets. But when we kill one another, which all communities do, by the way, people usually kill within their own communities, but the numbers work against us. We ain't 58.9% of the population like the white community is. We're not 19.6% of the population like the Latino community is. We're 13.6% of the population, yet we make up 38% of the 1.9 million folks incarcerated in the United States of America. That's a damn problem. That's a damn problem. And what I was saying was, we have to stop killing one another. We have to find a solution because the laws ain't good enough. You got folks killing one another in laws like California and New York and New Jersey with the strictest gun laws. Maryland got an A- for their grade. They're one of the strictest gun law states. And they had 130 homicides in Baltimore this year alone and over 300 shootings. But they're also killing in Alabama and Mississippi and Florida and Texas and stuff like that. So you got constitutional carry states where homicides are taking place and mass shootings are taking place, just like you got it in states with the strictest gun laws. It's hard to figure out what the hell the problem is. But the first thing to do is point to our humanity and to say, where's the love for one another? Let's come together as human beings and make sure that we prioritize minimizing the homicides, the killings, the mass shootings. That's what I said. I didn't point the finger at anybody. As a matter of fact, I specifically said I didn't know where to point the finger, which makes me pissed off because you swore you watched the show and you listened to the show, and clearly you didn't listen to that one. So sit your ass home, click back on the Stephen A. Smith show, rewind the damn show, listen to what I said, and then call back and correct yourself because you are wrong as it pertains to interpreting what the hell I said. Did not say that. And I didn't blame anybody. I held us accountable because we're the ones dying. That same old song and dance. Oh, we got to do something. Well, we got to come up with something to do. Well, what was your suggestion? Because you talked your ass off for about 5 minutes and you didn't give a suggestion. But I thank you for listening to the show and watching the show. I appreciate that.